What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another rendition of the IBB Top 3
Trilogy.
Oh, yeah. So we are here with the one and only Aimee Godek, and she is with Aimee International. And I'm just very excited to hear your story. I've known you a long time. Your husband, Brian, used to coach track with them, and we rah track, run around. And so Aimee's one of the few in the Arbonne world. You know, a lot of people come through the Arbonne system, but very few kind of have it's like a lot of people want what Arbonne offers, but they don't realize how much it's gonna take to get there.
Yes.
Same thing in my world. I think in the first 2 years, I think it's only 12% of people make it in our industry. So It's just kind of any industry that is kind of I always use the term, like you're getting drop kicked to the face on a daily basis multiple times. You know, it's like,
Yes.
It's like, ow, that hurt, ow, that hurt. Okay, so that I'm very excited to hear, you know, your top 3 goals. We're gonna start with number 1 right now. But so if you wouldn't mind just sharing the first one, and then we'll kind of get into how it has helped you when you started your journey, how that helps you now, and just kind of go from there.
Sure. So I think my top tip is having a vision that doesn't have a back door. I think so often people have a vision of where they want to be, what success means, but then as soon as, like you said, you get drop kicked in the face a few times, there's a back door, and it's easy to kind of run the other way. And then there is no success, because quickly it becomes too hard, or something happens, and then the back door is there, and out you go.
So that's where too I've heard a lot of people say, and even in my book I talk about, you gotta have a vision, bro. You know, like a lot of people say you have to have a vision, but I love that you're like, you have to have a vision with, like, there's no exit, like there's no escape. So for you, when you started the Arbonne journey, and what was kind of like that moment for you, or like what did you have, like a saying that you would tell yourself as you're moving along in those early stages to make sure that you didn't have an exit?
I think there were two parts to me kind of sticking with it. One was my vision was so much bigger than me. I'm a teacher by trade, so I had a big, huge goal to use Arbonne as a vehicle to bring back to that community. So I saw that there was so much more potential with what I was doing with Arbonne to come back and help kids that were struggling more so than I could in the classroom. So that was always driving me as something bigger than me and my success. But also, I've always said from the beginning of my business, I'm not a quitter. So when I decided that I was going to go in, there was no way that I was ever going to tell anybody I quit. Like, if I decided I was going to do it, that was like game face. Like we were not quitting. So
nobody panic. Nobody
kind of
panic.
Two
We're not
things
quitting.
Keeping me
awesome
on that path.
Tell me more about how, like, using it to help your students with Arbonne. Just like obviously there's a lot of stuff with Arbonne with nutrition, and there's, I think, to me, I always kind of saw it more as like a health and beauty type thing. But I use the deodorant, I use the lotion and the body, all that stuff. So you've got me converted over to organic, you know. So I kind of what you use Arbonne to help them. I'm very interested in that.
So it's kind of twofold. One thing, like you said, Arbonne is very focused on health and wellness, clean eating, fueling your body the best you can. So I think in that aspect, I have so much room to educate in a lot of ways. But also, it's a vehicle to create an income that's unlike anything I could do in education. And so a lot of times we say in Arbonne, I don't wake up super excited to sell protein powder. Like, that's not exactly what I dreamed of doing in my world, but it's changing a ton of lives. And then I can use that income that I could have never made in education to give back. And so that's where there's a foundation in my mind that is growing, that is going to help kids who have the horrible home lives. I could only help them so many hours at school. So I'm going to use that income to create like an after-school center and be able to give those kids what they don't have that was missing that I couldn't do in education. So I think just having
that's a big deal.
Something so much bigger than yourself that you know that you're not building that income just for you and your family, and but you're helping other people to do that, because everybody that I work with in my organization has visions just as big.
That's
and
cool.
so not only do I have that vision, but then people I work with in my organization want to help with fertility, and they want to help with, you know, nonprofits. And so just knowing that those visions are in the people around that I work with in my Arbonne organization just helps kind of keep that going. No back door, because people are counting on you.
No big deal. All the children are counting on you, including your own.
Right.
So I love it. That is huge, huge. So the goal is to have a foundation and have an actual like physical. Oh man.
Yeah, I think so. There are places like this for inner city, but around where we are in rural, normally like functioning society, there aren't places like that, and there are kids who are struggling to make it, and they don't have anybody at home. They don't have anybody to help with homework. They don't have anybody to take them to the playground and do those things that so many other kids have. And so this is going to be my way to do that.
Wow. No big deal. Have a vision, change the world. No, so the protein powder.
Changing lots of lives.
Changing lots of lives, but it's and I feel like it's kind of the same thing with me. It's like it's not the product or the service, but it's knowing that because kind of like health and wealth, they're two of the most important things in your life, and especially we're kind of biased because that's what we do for a living. Right. But they affect everyone. Right. But it's very hard, and it takes a lot of patience. There's no instant payoff most of the time. So I'm excited that I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's going to be great. And I think one thing that I found that people oftentimes have a back door about is other people's opinions. I think
Tell me more about that.
So starting a business like you have or like I have, the success rate is low. And the success rate is low because so many people, there's somebody in my in my Arbonne organization, her name's Ashley Strong, and she always says, don't let other people's 2 cents bankrupt you. And I think that's...
Boom. All right, time out. Say it again. Say it again.
Don't let other people's 2 cents bankrupt you. And I love that because so often, especially in my field of work, direct sales, network marketing, people go in and out. People get burned because they join companies that require lots of inventory, all these things that happen. And so if I would have listened to so many people's opinions, like you have such a solid job in teaching, you're so great at that, why would you do something else? Then I think people fail. People fail because they let
other people's fears confirm their own. They let it. I remember when I started about 12 years ago, officially doing this. I was done with my internship, and I remember I was living in my grandma's basement for $50 a month. As long as I could prove to her I was also saving $50 a month as well. But I remember I was just interviewing everywhere. I couldn't find it. It was like 2007, so I didn't realize it was like, hey, we're walking into the second worst economic time period ever. But so I was just kind of interviewing wherever, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the leap. I'm gonna take the risk. And I remember telling my grandma, and it's very vivid, standing in her kitchen, she immediately started crying. She's like, why can't you just use your degree? Why can't you find something that's just find something that's safer? Nobody's gonna, no one's gonna buy anything from you. Nobody can, this, and she was kind of knew, she'd been through a lot, so she was talking about, this economy's getting bad and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, that's not the pep talk I was looking for.
Actually, the opposite. Because you value their opinion.
So I can still live in the basement, right? I still have a home, right? So is there any conversations that people have with you to try and get you to stop?
You know what? I'm really lucky that No.
Okay.
Not directly. Now
Okay.
you get a lot of comments. You get a lot of like, oh, how's that thing going? Like
Yeah.
people don't see the magnitude of it because so many
Correct.
people do quit.
Yeah.
So they don't see how huge
Yep.
it can be. And I think honestly, even where I am in my business now, people don't understand how huge
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of them. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of them.
Yep.
People in my organization have, hurtful things. But I've come to learn that honestly, when people are saying those things, they a lot of times truly mean well.
They're terrified for you. They're scared to death.
They think there's a risk.
They don't want you to hurt.
Yes.
They don't want you to have a bad day.
Yes.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Stay in the cute and cuddly lane.
yes,
Like there's,
Yes.
like the bowling alley. Like use the bumper. Like don't.
We've been taught. You go to high school, you go to college, you get your
Yeah.
degree, you use your degree,
And you play it safe.
Anything
and,
outside of that scares people. And so they say, "What in the world are you doing?" Because they don't want to see.
What's in that protein powder? You've gone crazy.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Go back to the classroom.
Yeah. Okay.
I think people most of the time have a very genuine, and so I've had to really work with people in my organization through those hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, thank you for caring about me when that's not what you want to say.
Yeah.
Thank you for caring about me, and here's why I feel really good about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I would love your support.
Yeah.
And that's helpful. But I think if you're not ready to have those conversations, it can really easily just take you down.
Awesome. So when you have no back door to your vision, even when people are trying their best to talk you out of your vision, but too, it's like I said, the 2 cents, don't let other people's 2 cents bankrupt you, and don't let other people's vision cloud yours, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's I love it. I love it. Anything else to add?
No, I think that one. We got it.
You pretty much rocked it. I'm just like the whole time, mind blown. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check out the other 2 videos in Aimee's IBB Top 3 trilogy. And until next time,
Stay burn proof.